Oh my God, Frankie just running into it today. Oh my gosh, out flops Rosie. Man, these kids have been running into it today.
Today, we have a 1-3 vlogger live stream.
If you don't like us, or if you just like seeing us lose, keep watching. Let's just get into it.
Welcome to TCH Live. We're here playing a 1-3 game for Texas Card House's 1-year anniversary. Super pumped, and it's a great lineup here. Stacks get deep and pots get huge. All three of us get into massive pots this session. You're not going to want to miss it. To start off the session, I got ace deuce of diamonds in the +3. We're playing 1-3 with a $15 straddle, $4.50 in my stack. I opened it to $40 and only the big blind defends. Board comes 10-8-8 with 2 diamonds. We have the nut flush draw and he checks to me. I'm gonna c-bet here for $50 and the big blind makes a call. Turns the 5 of diamonds, the big blind checks to me. I think I'm going to be c-betting this board pretty wide and often check back when the flush completes. So I play my hand just like that, a bit of a slow play, and check this one back on the turn, and the river brings the jack of hearts. Big blind leads out here for $75. My flush is super under-repped, so I'm definitely going for a raise here. I think a jam of mine might be a bit too big, so I go for $225. Don doesn't give it much thought before tossing in that call. I show him the flush, and we scoop in a pot, starting off the session hot.
We are playing 1-3-10-20 this hand, classic for TCH 1-3. We look down at ace-6 of diamonds in middle position. I open it up to $50. Folds all the way around to Andrew in the big boy straddle, who makes the call with queen-7 offsuit, go into a flop heads up in position, which comes 10 queen-jack rainbow with not a single diamond. He checks. I know Andrew's going to be defending the straddle super wide, so I do c-bet here to the tune of $50. As you guys can see, that's not going to work. He flopped top pair, won't be going anywhere, and he makes the call. We go off to a turn, which is the deuce of hearts. He checks, I give up and check back. The river is an offsuit 3. He checks again. I debate bluffing here, but I do surrender. And he does show up with top pair and takes this one down. Don't you worry, the poker gods want to give me redemption. On the very next hand dealt, they give us 2 aces instead of 1. We will take it. We're in under the gun +2. I make it $15. Lexo makes a rather loose call in +3 with king-8 offsuit. And Fish announces out loud that he is tilted when he makes the call with the premium 5-3 offsuit. Heading 3 ways to a flop of 4-10 deuce with 2 diamonds. Fish checks. I don't mind this board one bit. I c-bet $30. Lex makes an interesting call, and Fish comes in for the good old check raise to $80. And now it's time to think. Lexo being in this hand makes me like a 3-bet rather than just a call. If I flat this raise, Lex is very likely to come along as well, and I'll have to continue battling multi-way on some turns that aren't fun. It sucks when Fish shows up with a set here and I'm just screwed, but if he does, so be it. I do go for the flop 3-bet to $200. Lex folds and Fish snap calls. This pot is bloated, $478 in it, as we head heads up to a turn, which is the 6 of clubs. I wish I had superpowers to be able to see that check mark next to Fish's hand, indicating that I am dead as a doorknob. I do not. He checks, and it's time to think again. I obviously don't want to give diamond draws a free card, but I don't want to value own myself versus a set or a straight, and getting 3 streets of value versus a top pair like holding with this pot size already is not realistic. So I do go for the check back here, which is pretty chill considering Fish has the nuts. The river's very interesting. It's an offsuit 3, putting a 4-liner to a straight out there, and Fish goes for the jam to the tune of 367 into 478. The way Fish throws his chips at me here leads me to believe he's trying to come across as strong. I know he's tilted because he told us pre-flop. That's the only reason he's in this hand. The diamond draw bricked, and we don't have a diamond, which unblocks flush draws, and he knows a 5 is basically never in my flop 3-bet range, so it's a great spot for him to try to bluff me. All of this leads me to make the call. You guys can see, we're so wrong. He shows 3-5 offsuit, which I did not expect, and felts us. I honestly don't mind my logic though, so let me know what you guys think.
I'm not proud of this. We're an hour and 5 minutes into the stream, and I have not played a single hand yet. VPIP 0, I'm so card dead. Fish bets $10 with 10-8 offsuit. He can do it with any 2. We see +2, Andrew makes the call. Lex 3 bets here with king 8 suited to $50. I like this play from him. He's targeting 2 weak ranges. With pocket 5s on the button, I know Lex is doing this to target these players, so I'm going to be making a call here in position. I could have the best hand right now. We see a call from Fish, a call from Andrew. We're going 5 ways to a flop.
You see Frankie flop bottom set. Yep, bottom set. And top 2 for Fish. Oh my lord.
Fish leads into Lex for $100. He flops top 2 pair. Andrew folds an 8. Now to Lex, he's got king 8. He makes the call here. It's to me. Seems like an obvious raising position as I want to get value from flush draws, single pair holdings, over pairs in Lex's range. And yeah, so I'm definitely going to raise. I make it $300 to go. I have $750 total and Fish rips it all in with top 2. Lex now folds. It's to me. I'm definitely calling. The reason I tossed my chip up in the middle is because I'm assuming I'm going against the nut flush draw and I'm going to have to hold. But no, I'm a way bigger favorite. 2 8s are already folded. He only has 2 outs remaining.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, a bigger full house for Fish on the turn.
We're going to have to play some more hands to make this money back. Time to reload.
Ouch, Frankie, that was a cooler. Hopefully I can avenge you against Fish this hand with ace-9 of clubs in the +1. I open it to $15, the cutoff, the button, and the small blind call. Flop is queen-9 ace, pretty good one for us, top and bottom pair. When it checks to me, I bet $25. I want to keep their ranges wide. The cutoff calls, he must be a conductor because he starts a calling train. 2 calls behind him and we're off to a turn of the 3 of diamonds. Seems safe for me, but when it checks to me again, I mean business and I size up to $125. The conductor derails and folds his hand. The button returns his cards as well, and now the small blind Fish makes a call for 125, and we see a pretty gross river, the jack of diamonds. Fish thinks about it for a second and grabs some black chips and 1 green one as well and bets $325. I absolutely hate this spot. This was still pretty early on into the session, so I hadn't got a full understanding of whether or not I thought Fish was capable of bluffing. If he is, this would be a great card to do so on. In my mind at the moment, I was considering if he would value bet here with hands like Queen Jack or Queen 9, but looking back, I think this bet is so polarizing that you can take 2 pairs out of his range. I think this is either a flush, a straight, or a bluff. Fish looks me dead in the eye and gives me a big smile as I'm contemplating my decision. I can't help but crack a laugh after that, but on the inside, my stomach is turning. I ultimately settle on a call, and we're wrong. He shows me the bad news, King Queen of diamonds. Fish, you've been running pretty hot against us so far, but we're coming back for revenge.
We're tossed right back in the action. The very next hand, we're playing 1, 3, 10, 20. Jeez. Okay, I look down at pocket tens. I open for $50, and we see a call from Donzo, and we see a re-raise from the big blind to $200. Folds back to me. I just saw him open 10-8 offsuit, and under the gun, I saw him beat Rosie with 3-5. I think, wow, he can probably have a pretty wide 4-betting range too. This time, definitely not wide. I make the call though, which I think is a good standard play here against this type of opponent, and Donzo gives us a better price when he makes the call as well, going off to a flop, which comes.
Flop's gonna come ace jack deuce. Feel like a bet here would take it down.
This time on Fish's turn, he snap checks. It's to me, I think, wow, he just got out of line and now he's giving up seeing that I called and Donzo called. So I check it back with my marginal made hand. The turn is the 6 of clubs. And now, interestingly enough, Fish snap checks it again to me. He's not even thinking about it, which makes me think he has a marginal made hand too. The only marginal made hand that I am losing to are queens and kings. So I check it back, hoping to be beating one of his pocket pairs. The river is the queen of clubs. He snap checks it over to me once again. If I go all in here, looking at the hands, it would have worked, but I check it down. Fish beats us with pocket kings. We don't put in a bluff on a very weird board that he checked the whole way down, and he is just taking all of our chips today.
Here we see Donzo open to $15 and under the gun +1. Andrew calls in the hijack, and we call it the classic 6-9 of diamonds on the button. Lex calls in the small blind, and we go 4 ways in position to a flop of 2-7-8 rainbow no diamond. We've got an open-ended straight draw, and it checks all the way to me. Since Donzo didn't c-bet and Andrew didn't bet, I'm not really worried about either of them, and I go for the semi-bluff here for $25. Lex, the only one I was worried about, calls. Don calls as well, and we go 3 ways to a turn. No need to worry anymore. The turn is the 5 of diamonds, giving us the stone cold cojones. It checks to me again, and I think I mess up here. I think I bet too big. I want to charge my opponents as we're multi-way, but given the dryness of the board, I don't think we need to bet particularly large. I make it 100 into 138. Lex tank folds his top pair, Don folds his ace high, Wishing I bet something smaller like 50 to 75, but you learn and you live.
It's our third pocket pair. Come on, let's get it going. This time we have the best one, pocket aces. Lex opens under the gun to 20. I 3-bet to $60. We see Fish cold call in the cutoff. He's got a strong hand, pocket jacks. Lex makes a call. We're going 3 ways to a flop, trying to avoid a 9 and a jack. Flop comes jack 3-7, 2 clubs.
Oh my God, we're looking at a set versus aces. Frankie just running into it today.
I put out a bet for value for $100. We see a call from Fish and a fold from Lex. I have no idea how much trouble I am in. The turn is the 8 of diamonds. With $455 in my stack, I bet $200, and we see Fish put me all in for $255 more. He's playing loose. I make the call. He flips over jacks, and just watch what happens.
They're gonna run it 3 rivers. No help on the first run out. No help on the second one. Oh my God. Quads for Fish on the third one. Just the maximum rubbing it in there as Fish decides that he just wanted to wake up today and run over this table.
Ben, you did a great job explaining how I lose all of my chips. On to bullet number 3.
We are again playing 1, 3, 10, 20. Lovely. It folds to me in the hijack with ace 3 of hearts. I open it up to $45. Fish calls out of the $10 straddle, and we go heads up in position to a flop of 10-9-9 rainbow with 1 heart. It's just not our day today, is it? Fish checks. I c-bet $40. He check raises to 115. I debate peeling, but do let it go.
This hand with king queen offsuit in the small blind, we see 1 limp and early position open to 15. The button makes a call, and I decide just on a call rather than a 3-bet. I don't want to be in a bloated pot out of position, versus some players are playing pretty wide and gonna defend my 3-bet light. The big blind and the limper call as well. 5 ways to a board of 4-5 queen. +2 now donk leads for $45. Not sure what that means. +3 calls. The button calls. I contemplate a raise, but I think that'd be a bit of an overplay. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I just make the call for $45 and Rosie in the big blind folds. Turns the 9 of hearts, and the donk leader decides to check this time. Checks around to Andrew on the button, and he throws out a bet of $170. Pretty tough spot, to be honest. While on one hand I do have a very under-repped and strong hand, I'm also not entirely sure what the 2 people behind me have. When I found out I was sitting to Andrew's right, I made a game plan in my head to play pots against him in position as much as I could because he's one of the more aggressive players at the table. The entire stream I played extremely snug from the small blind, as that's the only time I'm going to be out of position against him. I let my hand go, and so do the other players. Nice hand, Andrew. You got me.
We need a win badly. The next hand, Lex opens up +2 with ace-jack offsuit. I have ace-6 of hearts, a hand good enough to call in late position, but not good enough to call in earlier position, so I decide to use my tight image that I perceive Lex has of me, and I 3-bet to $60, just like I did last rotation with pocket aces. I'm using a polar 3-betting range, which means I'm going to 3-bet my best hands and the hands that just aren't good enough to call. Folds to Lex, and he makes the call. Going off to a flop, which comes 9, jack, 6, 2 hearts. Action flop, he checks to me. We have a marginal made hand, so I check it back. The turn is the 4 of diamonds. Lex leads now for $40. Let's think about his range. I think he would bet small with jack 10 suited, queen jack suited, pocket 10s, 9-10 suited, maybe even pocket 8s for protection. He could be doing this with bluffs like worse hearts, 8-10, 8-7. I have third pair, which loses to his value range, so I decide to turn my hand into a bluff and raise it up to $180. If he jams, we have an easy call. I can't believe I'm making a move against Lex, who I think is the best player at this entire table. He has top in this position. I did not think he was this strong when I put in the bluff, but look what I said about tight image. Lex makes a fold. I really like my play in this, and I'm so glad to win my first hand at 2 hours and 30 minutes in.
In this hand, Donzo opens it up to $15 with garbage from under the gun +1. Sam 3-bets with queen 10 of clubs in middle position. Little backstory on this. Queen 10 is Sam's favorite hand, and he's playing a bounty game with Andrew for it. If either of them wins a hand with queen 10, they get $50 from the other player. I wake up with ace-king offsuit in the button, gladly put in the cold 4-bet to $150. It folds back to Sam, who probably wouldn't normally flat a 4-bet out of position with queen 10, but it's his favorite hand, the bounty's at stake. We go off to a flop of, you guessed it, 10-5-4 rainbow. He checks, I c-bet 90, and he just goes all in, which is so tilting for me now and in the moment because my 4-bet range just has so many strong overpairs that are going to get so paid here. Of course, not this time, and I make the laydown.
Unfortunate hand, Rosie. We just cannot seem to win a pot tonight, but that's all about to change when we look down at the ladies, pocket queens, and +3. This hand, we are playing 1, 3, 10, 20. So with $450 on our stack, we pretty much only have about 22 big blinds. Andrew limps, and I open it to $80. Lex calls on the cutoff with pocket 8s, and now the small blind decides on a raise to $280. Don looks down at a suited ace, decides that's good enough for a call, and calls all in for less, $242. Folds back to me. I'm never folding queens here. I shove for $450 total. Lex gets out of the way and the small blind snap calls. Frankie comes over and puts his arms around me and Rosie. I've got the boys in my corner in a 3-way all-in pre-flop for over $1,200. Time for the tides to turn.
All right, like I said, $1,270 are in the middle. We're gonna run this thing out. 2 spades, oh my God. Ace King flops top, and Ace 9 has the spades. Finds the spades on the turn. And the boat doesn't come, so Donzo takes the main pot, and Ace King takes the side.
Queen somehow finds a way to go from first place in the race to dead last. We lose both the main pot and the side pot. I'm stuck 800, stacks are deep, and if I really wanted to play with these guys, I would need to add on for at least 1,000. That would be a bit out of my bankroll and my comfort zone, so I decide to call it a night. Got crushed. Think I made a lot of mistakes tonight. Didn't run too well either, but it's the way she goes. I had to leave the stream for the first time ever before it ended. That was embarrassing.
We're back to playing 1, 3, 10, 20 because Andrew and Sam Clark are sitting next to each other and cannot help themselves with the straddles. I make it $50 to go with pocket 9s. We see Tom on the button with pocket 10s. He's in a tough spot. He just makes the call. We're out pipped. The small blind makes the call. Donzo, everyone has strong hands. On to Fish, the big blind, and he has Ace King offsuit. Our nemesis puts in a 3-bet to $225. It's back to me. I consider 4-betting here against my nemesis. However, I don't think Fish has it in to 3-bet that big as a bluff, so I decided to make the fold here, and look what would have happened. We would have flopped a set. Fish is just too damn good.
As my wallet is all but empty, we get one last chance for redemption. Fish makes it $15 in the hijack. I wake up with pocket queens in the big blind and 3-bet to 50. You know he's calling, and you know damn well what is going to be on that flop. It comes Ace 2-4 rainbow. I check. He bets $5 into a pot of 100. I feel like I'm on an episode of Pranked right now at this point. Like I can't fold. I call. The turn's a 5. I check. He bets 30. I honestly don't know what to make of these bets. I haven't really experienced anything like this. I'm also just in shambles at this point. I call. River's the 2 of spades. It completes the backdoor flush. Goes check, check, and it's time for me to call my mom to come pick me up.
The last hand of the night, we're in the hijack with pocket 10s again. Let's get some redemption. I open to $15. We see Tom call with a pretty garbage hand. Fish, oh my gosh, he's 3-betting us again. He makes it 40 to go with ace queen of diamonds, and now Sam Clark, who's also an aggressive player, first time getting in a pot with him, he 4-bets to 100 with ace jack suited. I have position, and these guys are both very aggressive, so I do make the call, not letting go of my 10s just yet, and we see Fish make the call. So we're going 3 ways to a flop, which comes 277. Checks to the 4-better. He bets $75. I make the call, and you know Fish, he makes a light call, trying to ruin our days in flop top pair. The turn is the 8 of hearts. We're still good. Fish checks. This time Sam slows down, probably scared that both people called the flop. It's to me. In the moment, I think that Sam could be slow playing his kings or aces right now, and I put in a check, although I think a bet on this turn is best. The river is so nice. It's another 2 of clubs, so I feel like I have the winner here, although there's not much I could bet and give value from besides pocket 9s and pocket 6s. So when they both check to me here again, I would have called if Sam put me all in, but now this seems like a very thin spot, so I just check my 10s back, and we win versus the 2 ace highs.
I was into the game for $2,400. I was out for $940.
I was into the game for $1,500, out for $275. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Biggest losses ever.
Yep, we'll get them next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Poker's hard.
catch you in the next one.